Serverless computing does not mean no servers. What is serverless computing? It used to mean no servers, but really it means less focus on servers. When we use serverless computing, we're focusing on the computing, not the servers. The underlying technology runs on servers, but we don't have to configure them. So how do we use serverless computing? We can use a service like AWS Lambda to run code for us in the cloud. How does this work? We upload code into AWS Lambda service, and then it runs when we tell it to. We can configure it so it runs on an HTTP request. We can have it run on a schedule. We can have it run on other types of events. An event is when an external message comes to the service. For example, we can configure an AWS Lambda function URL. This gives us a unique web address that we can make a request to. So when a web browser or a client makes an HTTP request to a Lambda function URL, that HTTP message gets sent to our Lambda function. The function code will have the event as one of the inputs into the function. We can then use the event to determine the business logic in the function. So let's give a more concrete example. Let's say your web application wants to retrieve data about a listing of books for sale. The application makes a GET request to the HTTP URL. That message gets sent to the Lambda function. The Lambda function can verify that it is a GET request from a valid client. And if it is valid, then it will make a request to the database with a query of all the books available for sale. It gets the database response, formats it into a format that the web application knows how to interpret. Let's say it's an array of objects with book title, book description, and price. The web application gets this JSON array and then displays this information on a table for the website user. This was a quick overview of how serverless works using AWS.